Hello and welcome to my channel Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about what your crush first thought about you when they met you, what was their first impression of you, and I also want to know how your crush sees you now and if it's different from their first impression, like what's their impression of you now compared to what their impression of you was when you first met them. And I have 7 groups that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, this will be group number 5, and this will be group number 6. And I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video and you can find the timestamps in the description box below. And yeah, I'll just start the reading now. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So the question is, what or how does your crush see you right now versus how they saw you when they first met you? So what was their first impression of you, and how does that how does that make sense when it comes to their current impression of you? Is it the same or is it different? And so yeah, I'm gonna shuffle the cards afterwards, but first channeling. So okay, group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1, Spirit, can you give group number 1 the answer to this question? What was their crush's first impression of them versus their impression of them now? How did group number 1's crush see them at first, and how do they see? How does their crush see them now? First, with the first impression. Let's start with the first impression. So I'm getting that it's like a typical he saw you as very typical, he or she. Your crush saw you as very typical, like a very typical type. Maybe slightly boring, but very very just usual, like very I was getting like typical blonde, but you don't have to be blonde, but maybe he or she just saw you as a bit one or like two-dimensional, like not very I don't know, but like very maybe a bit superficial, not with a lot of depth to you. Yeah, very surface level, very maybe he or she just saw you as very someone with very few issues, like someone who has had a very easy life, very normal life, easy and simple upbringing, very usual upbringing. Everything just seemed very normal, like you haven't had a lot of obstacles, and the obstacles that you've had, or that was his first impression, that you had just had normal obstacles, like everybody else, and that you were just a bit privileged, I think, like very, like people have been around you to support you, or yeah, and I think maybe it's because like the feeling I'm getting is that he probably has had the opposite. So when he I keep saying he, but when they see someone who's very, like who seems to have had an easy upbringing, they kind of get a bit jealous, maybe, like you've had it so easy and they've had it so rough, and that it's unfair or something. And maybe this person kind of sees it as, well, it's kind of typical that someone who has been through a lot kind of ends up feeling a bit superior because of it, which is a bit silly, but at some point, instead of constantly being mad about it and let it get under your skin, you kind of get to this point where you start seeing it as like a superpower, like something, well, like you start seeing yourself as a bit better than everybody else because you've been through more than them, and in a sense you feel like everybody else has had it easy, and that they don't know what you, and I think he or she feels that way a lot, and I think that is a normal assumption that this person makes about everybody. Really, everybody they meet, their first impression of them is usually that, oh, they have had it so easy, everybody, like, and so it's not, I don't think it's something that is very special to you, like it's, I don't think, I think this person thinks that a lot when they meet new people. They think, oh, another privileged person who has had it easy their whole life, and they see themselves as a bit better because they've been through more, and that kind of makes them feel like everybody else are in kindergarten and somehow they are in like like they are in the university, everybody else is in the kindergarten, because they've had so many obstacles that they've had to overcome, that they are like next level. So yeah, so I think, yeah, their first impression of you was definitely, oh, you've had it easy. And I'm also getting like spoiled, like you're just spoiled and rich or something, that you don't know what it's like to not have food on the table. You don't know what it's like to not have the opportunity to go to the university because your parents can't afford it. Like, you don't know what it's like to be from a low income area and living there your whole life, and always having less than everybody else, and always measuring yourself to everybody else and seeing that your checkbook is short or something like that. There's just something like a bit whiny about this person. Yeah. But so I'm gonna channel something about like how this person sees you now. So yeah, Spirit, how does this person, group number one's crush, how does this person see group number one now? Okay, so it seems like they've reached a more balanced image of you. Like they see you more balanced now. It was very black and white before. They'd see that everything is a bit more gray now. Like it's not either or, that some people actually can have issues, even though it's like that, like it's, so it seems like it's been balanced out. Like now I think they can see that you're a whole person now, that you're more than just their first impression of you, that you're actually a person with some depth to you, that you're not just that you're not the typical person like that this person thought you were. That there is something atypical about you, and that you've not had it as easy as they thought to begin with. They realize now that maybe that was a bit that they had you all wrong a bit in the beginning. Kind of also feel like they are a bit ashamed in a sense that they thought this about you, because I feel like they might also have said that to other people. Like they might have said to other people that you're just a privileged rich person who has never had any obstacles. I think this person has said that, and I think they kind of felt bad for saying it when they realized that it wasn't really true. This person might be the type of person who jumps to conclusions and then just kind of says things to people like based on their personal conclusions that are kind of always faulty, but they still kind of have this tendency to kind of say things without really thinking about it first, and kind of especially if it's negative, which is kind of so yeah, I think they feel ashamed. This card came through. I wasn't even planning on shuffling. I kind of end up doing it sometimes when I'm channeling without really noticing. And the Page of Pentacles came reversed, and I think maybe he knows now that you're actually not that well off. Maybe they really thought you were in the beginning, that they thought you were very rich. Just a privileged rich person being privileged and rich, and then at some point they realized that maybe not. Maybe you actually have earned some of your success. Like maybe you actually earned it yourself, most of it, and that it was kind of like, I think also like this person kind of made some assumptions about you kind of getting where you are today because of others, that other people kind of carried you through life. And I think this person also might have said that to a few people, that you've been carried through life, and and I think this person realized that it wasn't really true, that it's because you're talented and that you're smart, and that nobody has, like, that it's not that, like, anybody didn't, like, nobody carried you anywhere, you carried yourself. And I think this person knows now, but they didn't know in the beginning, and they made some assumptions, and they're not proud of them. I don't think so. I'm gonna keep this here, but I'm gonna shuffle the cards now about what was their first assumptions of their first impression of you. What was your crush's first impression of you? Group number one. What was group number one's first impression? What was group number one's crush's first impression of group number one? What was group number one's crush's first impression of group number one? Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, I think old money, coming from a rich family, owing all your successes to your upbringing, to your parents being also wealthy, kind of that, like, this is a kangaroo, and it's kind of symbolic of someone who has been in a kangaroo pouch their whole life and owing all the success to the parent carrying them in the pouch, like in the kangaroo pouch, and yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely getting this feeling that this person thought you were very privileged, and that you had a really great life, simple life, everybody helped you with everything, no, you didn't have to do anything on your own or something. And yeah, but I think, yeah, they realized at some point that wasn't the truth, that they had spoken out of term in some way, like they out of term, like that's not a thing. Out of turn is a thing, but I don't know why I said out of term. But term also like could be symbolic, like a term be not terminology, but term as in termus. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out, but out of turn, at least, that this person might have spoken out of turn. I don't think it has anything to do with this, but it just came in like it means something. Like maybe they spoke to you out of turn, and that they kind of, or they felt like you spoke out of turn, or something felt just like. But I don't know, like it's yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some more cards about like what this person's impression of you is now. Yeah, okay, so with the Ace of Pentacles, well, I think this person has realized that maybe you did that you didn't have, like this is a big coin coming on a, like falling down on a very dry area, and a very like not very fruitful area. So I think this person realized that that maybe you come from a dry area, like you come from a family that wasn't really very fortunate, or that they weren't fortunate in the beginning, that it might be kind of new that you have money now, or when you first met this person, like the feeling that they had suddenly of you like being very privileged and rich, and like that might have been, like, they might have realized that it hasn't always been like that, that it's just something that has happened very recently, and that it wasn't really a part of your upbringing at all, but something that has happened in newer times, within the past few years or something. And maybe this person has realized that the coin that this person picked up on in the beginning was actually falling on a dry spot, and so they had wished you to, like they had kind of had these ill thoughts of you being like that you hadn't earned this success, that you were like, this person felt like you were very successful when you first met them, and somehow, like, in their mind they felt like you didn't deserve it because you were privileged and came from a good upbringing and stuff like that, that it should have gone to someone more deserving of it. There might have been something when you first met this person, there might have been something going on where you were being either honored or celebrated or something, or I don't know, but it's like this person felt like that there wasn't, like, you weren't deserving of it because you've had it so easy your whole life, and it wasn't a big accomplishment for you because you've been helped through life and something. I don't know, it's kind of a messy vibe here, but I think, yeah, this person has realized that the success was actually a lucky thing. Not because it was lucky or that it was because of luck, but because it was actually more of a turning point in life. Because everything had been shit up until then, up until you got something, or until your family got something, like a bit of money or something. Like, it had been like very, very dry up until then. Like, and with the Empress here, like, I think now this person sees you as, like, if you're a woman, I think they see you as actually the ideal woman, like they see you as maybe also as so this is actually a positive thing, because I think they see you more now as a fitting counterpart to them. Like, they didn't see that in the beginning because they just saw you as, like, very superficial, very not very deep, not very interesting or something like that, because they assumed you hadn't been through a lot in life. And but I think now that they know more about you, know your story more, they have more interest in you as a person, and maybe also romantically, because they see you now more as someone who's on their level. Yeah, with the Fool reversed, I think, yeah, that's definitely, like, I think they might have seen you as a bit of a fool in the beginning, like as an actual fool. Of course, the Fool is usually not read as an actual fool. Like, but I think in this case, I think it is more. I think it kind of fits more that I think this person might have seen you as a bit naive in the beginning, like a typical blonde, also because like that was the words that came. And again, I don't think all of you have blonde hair, but I think there is maybe also something where like a typical blonde is a stereotype of someone who's a bit dumb. Like, and I think this person might have assumed you were a bit dumb in the beginning for whatever reason, maybe because you're pretty. That's a very typical assumption that some people have, that if they see someone who's too pretty, they assume that they don't have a brain, because you can't have both. Like that's not possible for some people. Like the most rational people can come to this conclusion, even though there are endless examples of the opposite being true. But yeah, I think this person saw you as a fool in the beginning. They don't see you as a fool now. They have realized they fucked up. Like they know now that it was kind of silly of them to assume that you didn't have a brain. And so that, like, there's that kind of vibe I'm getting, that now they know. Now they can take it from there. Like now, like I think yeah, I think they have realized you're a very intelligent person, very capable, very knowledgeable, very wise, and very much not a fool. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all I have for you. Group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a very great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this Tarot de Marseille tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So group number 2. The people who will choose group number 2. Spirit, can you tell me the answer to this question on behalf of the people who will choose group number 2? What was group number 2's crush's first impression of group number 2? What was their crush's first impression of them? I'm getting that this person saw you as very loving, very caring, very maybe even a bit motherly, or if you're a man, a bit fatherly, like very parental, or had some parental instincts or something, like also a bit maybe a bit too cautious, or overly cautious about other people, like being too like worrying too much about others, asking people too much about, like, have they remembered this and that or something. Like you're maybe very organized, and you might also, like, it might rub off on other people, or you might kind of, like, when you're done organizing for yourself, you might start looking for other people around you to kind of organize for. Like, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but this was this person's first impression of you, so it might not be true. That's what we will figure out like later in the reading. But I think this person felt that way in the beginning, that you're kind of looking for people to kind of fulfill this need of you, like this great need of yours to organize. Like, you have to, like this person, like I'm getting that this person, I think this person is kind of funny, because I'm getting like this person kind of joking about you kind of looking for a victim, like going through people, through like these crowds of people looking for like a victim that you can start organizing for, and like that maybe this person felt like that was also the reason why you kind of scouted this person or something. Like you came to, I think this person felt like you came to their rescue, like you came and your only purpose was, or the only point of you contacting him or taking contact to him or to them, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but like that the only reason why you kind of talked to this person to begin with was because you wanted to kind of help them with something, or that you kind of had some kind of savior complex or something, that you needed to save this person from their crippling disorganization or something. I don't know. Like it doesn't seem very serious. It seems a bit like a light energy here. So I think this person was kind of very amused by it, though. Like this person enjoyed it. It's not a heavy energy here. It's not like this person felt like a victim to your organization needs. Like it's more that this person found it a bit funny that you started organizing things for them, or started asking them questions about something. Like I think this person felt like you were kind of like you might have just asked them, like if they like if this is like someone you're studying with, then you might have asked them like if they have done like some assignment or some essay or something, like something that you needed to do, or that they needed to do, and you might have asked them like if they had done it yet or something, or when they were planning to do it or something. Or if it's a work thing, it could be the same. Like that might have just been one thing, and you asked them like when were they planning to do it. And I think they just thought it was funny. Why did that you didn't like have to ask them that. Like it wasn't what was it to you? Like there's like I think this person didn't understand why you were like, why you felt like you had to be involved in their in whatever they were doing. Like they wouldn't have asked someone else. Like they don't care. Like if someone else is doing their home, like they're doing their homework in time or something like that doesn't bother them. Like they don't understand why other people would be bothered if someone else is slacking. Let them slack in peace or something. I don't know. But again, it's a very jolly energy. So it's not like this person was like, I just think this person was a bit amused by you caring. Like why do you care? Like and that was kind of the thing, the energy I was like that was kind of the impression in the beginning, I think. They just didn't understand why you cared. nobody else does. They don't. And yeah, with a Knight of Cups reversed, I think in the beginning, I think this person's first impression of you was that you were very much work and no play. Like that you were very serious, very like and like very much going like doing everything out of like some kind of schedule, like having like some kind of checklist and just checking everything out, and like and I think this person felt like they were this person felt like they were like on the checklist, like checking that you were checking like everything out on your checklist, and then oh yeah, the name of your crush also on the checklist. Yeah, and I think this person felt like they did not see you as romantic towards them in the beginning. I think they kind of felt like there was a chemistry there, and I think they felt like you felt it too. So I think they kind of knew from the start that there was some kind of spark there. But they couldn't see you being romantic, or they couldn't see what you were doing. Like they couldn't, like they could feel it, like that it seemed like you were interested in them in that way, but with the things that you were doing, it kind of was conflicting. Like if you're interested, like if you were interested, it just felt like, well, why is this person, if this person is interested in me, like why is this person acting like it's like I'm some kind of task on their checklist? Like what? That's not really. It's not really very romantic, is what I'm getting. Like this person, I feel like there was some kind of moment where this person, like where you two made some kind of plan together, and I think this person thought it was a date, and I think you thought it was a date too, but you kind of was, like maybe you weren't really certain that it was a date, or like you were afraid that this person would get the wrong idea, or that you were reading too much into it or something. And so I feel like for some of you, you might have taken someone with you to the date, like a friend or someone, and like, because it wasn't really established that it was a date. And I think you both knew it was a date, but I think you got this, maybe you got a bit nervous about it, or didn't want to send a message, or send that kind of message that you thought it was a date. So I think you might have actually done it kind of strategically, like you wanted to make it certain, like if you had misinterpreted it, you would really want it to be certain to him or her, your crush, that they knew that you didn't think that. I don't know, but yeah, I think this person kind of got like, okay, wait a minute, like why is there another person here? Like this was supposed to be a date. What's this person doing here? So I kind of feel like, yeah, I think this person kind of, yeah, I think like, but if it's not that, if that didn't happen, if you didn't take someone else with you to something that you planned together, I think it might have just been that like this person felt like you had established a date, and like you had planned it, and things seemed to be like, well, obvious, but maybe they just felt like at the date that you didn't like that you weren't actually like acting as if it was a date, or that you didn't call it a date or something. Or maybe also like if you planned a date, you might have planned it at a setting where other people were there too, like, so it kind of like that might have also made this person feel like, well, we wanted to hang out together, but like this is not the right suggestion to suggest that you go to a party together where other people are. Like that was not what this person was thinking of doing. Like that was not the I don't know, but like I think this person felt like, well, they established something and it was certain that it was gonna be a date, but it wasn't, or it didn't feel like a date. It felt like a casual, friendly thing, and this just kind of made this person a bit like they felt like it was a bit strange. Like they had expected something. Maybe you still don't really know that it was a date. Like it wasn't really established as a date. I think this person just messaged you like, do you want to do something one day, or like, do you want to do something today, or like, are you free today to hang out or something? And you might have just thought like, well, this person is bored and wants to do something, and then you said like, oh, I'm going to a party, or maybe you want to tag along or something, and they kind of like, they were happy that you said it like that, oh, it's fine, but I think they had just had something different in mind when they sent that text to you. Like they had something more intimate in mind, and yeah. So I think this person just felt like, well, what's going on? Like, is this a romantic thing? Is it a friendly thing? What is it? And also maybe like if this was some kind of party or something where there were more than one person there, like more than two people, like you two, if some other people were there as well on this date thing, like if that was the thing, like I think they also might have felt like, well, after it ended, they didn't hear from you afterwards, and kind of might have just made it like made them feel like they were just something on your checklist, and as soon as you could check it out of your checklist, and it was out of like then it was done. Like I don't know. Like I think they just felt like a task, something they had, like something you had to do, like that. It didn't spark you any joy doing it. Like it was just you doing something you had planned, and then just rushing through it like it wasn't something of a priority, and that it wasn't very amusing in some way. So yeah. I think, but I'm gonna ask about like, what's their impression of you now, and I'm gonna channel some information about it, and then I'm gonna shuffle. So, what's group number two's crush's impression of them now, of group number two now? What is group number two's spirit? What is group number two's crush's impression of group number 2 now? I'm getting something about you being like, I think not much has changed. I think they see you as very great. Still, maybe the organization thing is kind of getting like they understand more that that it might be an ADD or ADHD thing, that the organization is kind of a must for you in order to kind of get your life sorted out. That you kind of need these systems in order to not lose your mind or something like that. It's kind of, I think this person has more understanding now of like why you're so organized, or that you're maybe not really that organized, but you have to be in order for it to not, for everything not to end up in complete chaos. But I'm also getting that like this person sees you as very, like the impression of you is very positive. Like they see you as very believable. So that was a word that came through, like very believable. Like they believe every word you say. Like you're very honest and very truthful, and maybe they also have realized that a lot of the things that kind of went wrong in the beginning was because the communication wasn't very clear in the beginning, and that was maybe on their part. Like I think it was more on their part than it was on your part, and I think this person knows that like, because I think this person has asked you or something, like asked you about something maybe about you two, or like. And you've been very, like maybe they wanted to know like why you were a bit distant or something, and maybe you told this person like the exact truth to it, like what was happening, and maybe I think after that they realized that maybe they like all of these, that it's kind of silly that this person has made all these assumptions of like why you were doing this, why you were doing that, especially in the beginning, because they realized now that they could just have asked you and then you would have answered. That there isn't a lot of mystery around you. Like this person saw you as a very mysterious person in the beginning, I think, but I think they realized that the mystery was on their part. Like it was because they didn't ask you any questions, and they didn't ask why, and they weren't being very direct. And so they were actually the mysterious one, and they didn't even realize it, because they see themselves as very like open and very like very much like very direct and very. But I think they realized that maybe they hadn't been very direct towards you, and maybe it was a bit silly, really, to not be more direct. And I think this person sees you as very like I got that marvelous, like a very something about you very captivating, very like, and also very hardworking. Like this person realizes now that like you're working harder than everybody else, and like it's very. Like I think this person sees you as a bit of a wonder, really. Like you're like one of like the world wonders, because like you can do so much in so little time, and you do it effortlessly. Like you're very good at doing a lot, and this person just doesn't understand it, because this person half-asks half-asses everything. Like it seems like they don't really know what it's like, what it is to work really hard. Like they have always had it very easy their whole life, and they've always been able to just do the bare minimum and kind of get away with it really easily. Like so I think they are like, they realize now that like, well, that it might have been them being the problem all along. Like I think they know now that like if they were really kind of upset about the date thing in the beginning. That they thought was a date, but realized quite quickly that you didn't think it was a date, or that it wasn't. But again, like they know now, like that if they have to do something, they have to establish it really. Like they have to be very direct about it and call it what it is. Like instead of just being so secretive about it, and like because then like it wouldn't have happened if they had actually made it very clear what their intentions were and what they expected from it, then there wouldn't have been this confusion. And they know that now. They know it. But yeah, this person has also, I think this person, like after meeting you, this person has realized a lot about themselves. They have realized that they are not very direct, and that they are possibly the issue that they've had in almost all of their friendships and relationships. And like they have realized now this, it kind of has dawned upon them, like after meeting you, that maybe it's not all everybody else's fault. Maybe he or she has a certain part, has been playing a certain part in some of these things. And this did not. They did not realize it before, strangely enough. Like they didn't know. Like they just thought it was weird that you took someone, that you invited someone to tag along on their date, and thought you were being silly, and thought you were not being silly, but that you were kind of sending a message, or that you were purposely trying to make it clear, make something clear to them or something. Like but they know now you're a direct person, and like you wouldn't be sending him or her hints. Like you wouldn't be like, that's not your style. And so they realize that now, that it's that they didn't have to have all these. They didn't have to be so nervous about it. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle a bit about what their impression of you is now. I'm actually not gonna use these cards. I think I'm gonna use these archetype cards instead, just to mix things up a bit. So yeah, I think this person sees you as very, okay. I think this person sees you as magical. And this card is named Child Magical. It says, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. And so I think this person sees you as very like someone who wonders, someone who's very dreamy, someone who dares to dream and dares to see potential in things. This person is maybe a more pessimistic type. Like they like to joke maybe about like how they don't expect anything from the future. That maybe it's like a defense mechanism, because they are really kind of afraid that nothing good is ever gonna come their way. And so they joke about it, like make dark jokes about how they are gonna end up in a ditch one day, and that is where their life is gonna end, and that it's And they can say it like in a very, very amusing way, and I don't think it's actually because there's any truth to it, even though most jokes have some truth to them. But I think this person just, like, they know deep down that they have a lot of potential that they are not actually using, that they could do much more with their life, but they aren't, and that is on them. Mostly because they are so afraid of failure that they don't dare to do anything, because doing something also always has a risk in it that you could potentially fail. And I think this person is just afraid of failing. And so they don't dare to do anything, and they see you and they see how you know. You just seem to know that whatever you do, whatever goal you set on yourself, like whatever you set yourself out to do, like you're gonna do it, and you know that you can succeed at it. And it's because it seems like you know that everyone can do everything if they just put in the time and effort. That if you just put in the time and effort, you're gonna succeed at it at some point. And I think this person doesn't really know that about themselves. Like they see everything as like a bit limited. Like some things are for some people and some things are for others, and some destinies are just like some destinies are not in reach for them, and it's in reach for other people, and those people are gonna get those destinies because those destinies were meant for them. This person is like that, like that some dreams are like, it's best to just dream realistically, that it's unhealthy for you to have to or too unhealthy for them. Like this person does not want to have unrealistic dreams because they are afraid that they are not gonna get disappointed, because I don't think this person has any problem with getting disappointed because they've been disappointed before. But they are afraid of disappointing others. They are afraid that if they say out loud that they want to do something, that people are going to get excited on their behalf, and when they don't succeed at it, people are going to be disappointed that they didn't succeed. And they don't like that. They don't like getting those like eyes on them, like those pitiful eyes, like, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't. Yeah, like, I think this person just sees you as someone who dares to dream, and they would wish on themselves that they could do the same, but they can't. So like, and with a hero slash heroine, I think this person sees you as a hero. They see you as someone who can do everything. Someone who has a lot of potential and who could get really far in life. But I also think this person feels like they are very fascinated by you. And possibly also very attracted to you. Yes, I think so. I think they are very attracted to you. They are attracted to your personality and your looks, but also just like they are like, they think you're just fascinating. But have a certain fear. And this is why they are a bit cautious, because I think this person would want to date you, but they are also cautious because they feel like you're the type of person who would want them to be with you on the journey. Like, you're on this journey to conquer the world, get on top of the world, be this big hero, accomplish great things, and they are positive that you are going to do that, and it's going to be great, and you're going to be great, and everything you touch turns to gold, and everything you do becomes a success, and you're just amazing. But they are afraid that if you started dating them, they are not afraid that they are going to drag you down necessarily. It's not really that, but they are afraid that you're going to try to push them to do something with their life, that you're not going to be content with them doing nothing with their life, which is something they really enjoy to do. Like, they really enjoy doing nothing. Like, nothing is their favorite sport. And they are afraid that you will be demanding, that you will demand them to do the things that they are supposed to do, that they would rather just half-ass or just procrastinate or just push towards the future, and when the future comes they push it a bit further away. Like, they kind of like that. It's kind of their style, and that is like, I think they are afraid that you're gonna try to make them be the best version of themselves. And they don't want to be that. Like, they want to be the half-assed version of themselves. They know how to do that. That's easy. And then they kind of like to do it. Like, they like to do the easy thing. Like, they want to be... I don't think they like to. It's kind of again, it's a defense mechanism. It's kind of like they are a bit afraid of... they are afraid of succeeding. And they are afraid of failing, but they are afraid of both things, which is what they like. They are afraid of trying something and failing. That's a huge angst that they have. Like, they are very anxious about that. They are also anxious of succeeding, because, well, when you succeed, then like 20 more obligations are going to be put on your shoulders, and then you're suddenly going to have to do more work, because then suddenly you're in this kind of, you're in the hamster wheel. Then you have to kind of keep going in, like, to remain that success. And like, if you never reach it, then people can't say, you're like, one thing is to reach the top, but and that, like, then people are gonna be amazed by you. But like, if you then like fall down like right after, that's gonna be even more embarrassing. Like, then people are gonna, oh yeah, you had it all, and then you lost it all because you're a lazy ass. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think this person is just like, yeah, having a bit of a crisis right now with like their own life, their own identity, figuring out like what they should be doing, and I think this person is just a bit scared, really, that you're gonna try to make them do stuff. And I feel like nobody has ever tried to make them do stuff. Like, people don't seem to care. And maybe this person's family also, like, I think this person comes from a good family, but it might not come from that type of family where they had all these expectations. Like, I think they come from a family that kind of was a bit okay with them just half-assing everything and just like patting them on the shoulder for, oh, good job, at least you actually did it. Maybe you did it really badly, but you did it. And that's a good thing. And I think that's kind of what they also look for in a partner, someone who can kind of just pat him on the shoulder and say, yeah, that's a good job. You did something, at least. Bare minimum, but you did something. And that's good. Good for you, buddy. And yeah, it's... But yeah, that's all I have for you. Group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day and lovely day, and go outside in the sun, or don't, stay inside if you want to. And yeah, bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Medicine Woman tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 3. So, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3 about what their crush's first impression was of them? What was group number 3's crush's first impression of group number 3? Okay, so I'm getting something about something very lyrical about you. I don't know if you're like someone who's very like a bookworm, or like you're very well read or something, or this was this person's first impression of you. It could be that you have glasses, and then that might be like that's an assumption that some people have of people. So I think that is I think this person assumed that you were a bookworm, very smart, very like that you like to read, and maybe this person felt like maybe they didn't have a lot to talk to you about because maybe they are not very well read, or they don't have. They might have felt like you were talking about something with them that they didn't know about, and they kind of nodded and acted like that book, yeah, that's a good book, yeah, oh yeah, the chapter 3 of that book, like that was a game changer. That was like it just like that was what a turn of events. Like that was a unexpected turn of events. Yes, great book. Oh yeah, and they hadn't read a page of that book. They didn't know anything, and they didn't know what you were talking about, and they just acted as if they did, because they didn't want to seem like an idiot in front of you, and they kind of didn't want you to seem like an idiot either, like, or they didn't want you to feel like an idiot. This is like a double thing where like they didn't want you to feel bad for assuming that they had read the book, that would also be embarrassing for you if you assumed that they had read it and then find out that they hadn't. Then maybe you would feel bad for assuming that, and they would feel bad for not meeting your expectations, and then like it would be a whole thing. And so they just nodded and acted like they knew exactly what you were talking about, even though they didn't. And maybe they should have. Maybe it was like a school assignment or something where they should have read it. Like that was kind of the whole deal. And they kind of didn't want to look like someone who had half-assed the assignment, or that they hadn't done their homework or something. and even if that's like, it doesn't have to be a homework thing or that you studied together or something, but you just talked about a book, and maybe it was a book that you assumed everybody had read because it's such a popular book and everybody has read it in high school or something, or you just assumed that everybody had read it. And they hadn't, and so it kind of, it was just a whole thing where they just didn't want to disappoint you, and make you uncomfortable for assuming that they had read it. And so yeah, I think in the beginning, I think they kind of felt like you knew about a lot more about things than they did, or that they kind of felt a bit mediocre, like they didn't really have anything to put on the table, like they didn't have much to say, and with the nurturing lot of the bowls, I think this person, saw you as someone who puts people to, who's very good at kind of finding a topic that everybody can be in on. And I think that was kind of what you were trying to do in the beginning. Like maybe you met this person while you were together with a lot of people, like, or a few people, like maybe it was a group of like 6 or 7 people, and you were all standing or sitting around, and nobody was talking, and nobody had anything to talk about, and everybody was kind of being silent and awkward, and maybe you thought, well, let's talk about this book that you expected everybody had read because it's such a normal book that everybody has read or something, that you just assumed. And it was also right, because I think most of the people there had already read it. Maybe it was homework, so maybe that was the thing. Like you thought, okay, nobody's talking about anything, and it seems like we can't find a topic that suits everyone, because everyone there was so different, and everybody had different backgrounds, and everybody had different cultures, and everybody just seemed very different. And so, well, let's just talk about the homework, because, well, that at least that when talking about that, everybody can be on the same page. And I think this person just felt like, well, good on you for finding that one topic that everybody could agree on, or everybody could have a say in, but they just felt a bit like they were the outsider because they hadn't read whatever you were talking about. And or maybe, like, if it's not something you read, it could also have been that you talked about some topic that you thought everybody knew about, like something that had happened politically, like some kind of political event that had happened that you assumed everybody knew about because it's such a big deal, and it was on the news every day, and you just thought everybody knew about it and everybody had an opinion about it, and so you just wanted to talk about that because, or you figured that everybody could talk about that, but they couldn't because they hadn't seen the news, or somehow they kind of missed it or had missed it in some way. I don't know. But it kind of made this person feel like a bit left out, or that everybody else were like bonding over this thing that they couldn't bond with them over, or they couldn't bond with you either, and they couldn't really impress you. I think this person wanted to, but they didn't really see an opportunity to say anything impressive. So yeah, I'm gonna ask about like what is this person's impression of you now. I'm going to do some channeling about it. So what is group number 3's crush's impression of group number 3 now? Yeah, I don't think this person's impression of you has changed a lot. I think this person still sees you as like this person who's very smart. But I think this person also has, like now I think they also realize that you're very understanding too. Like this person might have gotten the feeling in the beginning that you were a bit arrogant, or this was more like this person's own insecurities, I think, like because they felt like they weren't like they felt like they weren't really presenting themselves in the correct way, like that they could have, because they couldn't really shine in the conversation because they didn't really know anything about the topic that were being discussed, and so they felt like they were kind of robbed from actually shining, and they kind of might have put that on you, like that it was kind of your making, like you made it, you created that situation that kind of was awkward for them, and then kind of instead of looking inwards and getting mad at themselves, which I think they did also, but I think it's a defense mechanism where like because it's so hard to kind of be mad at yourself, and some people have a harder time with it than others, and I think they just got kind of like in the moment they got a bit mad at you because you brought it up. Even though it's nonsensical, it's weird to put it out on you as if it's your responsibility to make them shine. And I don't think, I think afterwards, like when they thought about it, they realized that like they were being kind of unreasonable. And I think like now they know that you actually, like your only intention, like your intention was not to make them feel stupid. Your intention was to kind of make everyone come together. And I think that was their whole, like I think this person sees you more as like more delightful now. Like that was a word that came through, like delightful, like it's, but that also seems a bit like a bit formal to call someone delightful. So it's there is some kind, like I'm getting this kind of feeling that even though they like you more now than they did in the beginning, I think they feel a bit lesser than, like they feel a bit small when they are around you. Like they feel like they are not good enough, that they are not living up to your expectations of them, that they are constantly disappointing you. And I think it's all in their head though. But I think they just think like every time, like if you ask them a question and they say like, oh, I don't know, like this is something I don't know anything about, like why are you including me in this? Because I have absolutely nothing to say. Like whenever you ask them something, they feel that way. Like they feel like you're putting them on the stand, like putting them up for failure. And I think they still feel that way, like to this day, that they feel like you're very delightful. And I think that word is being used a bit formally, and also a bit like you're very delightful, but you're a delightful person, but like you're and it's not you, it's them. It's because they feel like every time they are around you. You are this reminder that they are not doing enough, that they are not good enough, that they should be doing more, or they should have their life more in order, or but I'm gonna shuffle some more cards. With the apprentice of pipes, I think this person, if they see you, they see you as someone who is like you're kind of doing the impossible. Like you're doing something like where you're like this card here. On the card there's a woman and she's like trying to like channel a swan or something like that, an animal like a swan, or a phoenix, I guess, but more like a swan in this context. Like you're taking the form of a swan, it's so easy for you to captivate people, and it's easy for you, like with a swan, like people see a swan and they are amazed. Like they see a swan on a lake and it's like the first thing they want to do is take a picture of it, because it's like this thing that even though you see millions of swans all the time, and like it's not even a rare thing, like they're going like walking past a lake, it's not really that rare to see a swan. But even though it's not rare, it's still something like everybody's like, wow, it's a swan. That's so great. Let's honor this swan for just being there, and that's somehow like what this person this person feels like. It's so effortless for you to make people be impressed with you. Like you just have to say a few words and everybody's like, wow, this person is so great and smart and like she knows everything. Or he, like I don't know if you're a he or she, but like this person just feels like at this point you don't even have to do anything. Like people just see you and they are like, wow, this amazing person, like this person is going places because this person is so great. And this person sees it too. But it's like this person, like it's like this, it doesn't really, it seems like it's not really that, it's like it's losing its meaning in this person's perception. Like it's like when everybody sees you as this amazing person, then what's the point in seeing you the same way as everybody else? Like what's the point? Because everybody sees you that way, and what's the point? Like I don't know why this person feels like there has to be a point to like someone, but it's like maybe this person is like, you know, it's the type of person who wants a toy, but when they realize that everybody else in their class also has the same toy, it's like they don't want it anymore because everybody has it. Like what's the point of having it if everybody has it? Then it's not really that special. Like what's so great about it then? And this person kind of has that thing where this person, like, I think like it's if you asked this person out, I think they would say yes. I think they would feel like they were a fool not to. And like, because everybody thinks you're amazing. So like if they turned you down, like everybody would be mad at them and saying like, what are you thinking, you stupid idiot? Like, are you really gonna turn this person down? Like, what's wrong with you? And so there's also like the peer pressure thing. I think this person has like yeah, so I think this person could be peer pressured into saying yes to date you, because they would feel like it would be dumb not to, and everybody would go against them if they said no. And I think it's like it's bound in something where like this person sees that you're a great person and they see you as they find you very amazing. But the fact that they see you as amazing also is what makes them uncertain, because they see everybody else finding you to be amazing as well. And I think this person kind of in their personal ideal world, they would want to fall in love with someone who nobody can see the potential in, but they see the potential and they see something great that nobody else sees. Like they want that sort of thing, that sort of dynamic where they have to go against the world and tell the whole world how amazing a person is, and defend that person constantly, or like it's kind of a weird thing. It's a weird kind of wish to have, but like yeah, this person just would rather have to defend than have to constantly hear other people tell them how lucky they are. Like it doesn't seem very attractive to this person to be with someone where everybody is jealous of them. Like, because that's not a battle. That's not like that's like I think this person might have heard a phrase too many times, and it's a very normal and very average phrase, and it could potentially fuck certain people up because it seems like it has fucked this person up. But like this person has heard the phrase like, if it's not worth fighting for, then it's not worth it. Like, love should be worth fighting for. And maybe this person has kind of like gotten it a bit wrong in their mind that like if they aren't fighting, then it's not the right thing. Like that they have to fight for something in order for it to be good, in order for it to be right. They have to fight for it. That if they are not fighting for it, then it's not what they should be doing. Like, and so I think they want a relationship that they are constantly fighting for, or that they have to defend against, like them against the world, like being like a couple where everybody is against it, and so it's an ongoing fight forever. That sort of thing. I don't know. And they see you as someone who's just worshipped by everyone and everybody likes you, and it would be so easy being in a relationship with you, because everybody would just be like instantly feel like that is amazing, that is an amazing person, and you won the jackpot on this one. And that's just, it seems like it's not really doing it for this person. It doesn't feel right for this person for whatever reason. It's yeah, I don't know, but that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Tarot Cats tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you, group number 4. So yeah, I'm gonna do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4 about what their crush's first impression was of them? What was group number 4's crush's first impression of group number 4? I'm getting something about stable, unstable. There's like I think this person's first impression of you was like a bit dynamic. Like they're very like, I don't know if you kind of had a lot of time with them, like right in the beginning, like the first time you met them. It might have been like a thing where like it was a few hours or like enough time for them to actually make quite a descriptive first impression. Like I'm getting this feeling that the first impression was kind of descriptive, and one of the ways that they would describe you, I think, like in the beginning, was that sometimes they got a stable vibe from you, that you were very stable, then they got a bit of a vibe from you that you were a bit unstable. Like it seemed like they couldn't really figure you out, because like there might have been certain things you talked about where it seemed like you were very, very logical, very rational, and then you talked about some things maybe about your personal life, and they couldn't quite understand it because it didn't seem like, it seemed a bit chaotic, or like it seemed a bit irrational. You might have told this person about like your complicated relationship with your mother or your sister or a friend of yours or someone, and you might have described what it was like, and I think this person felt like, well, this smart person, this person is really smart, well educated, like very, very rational, logical, talks about her passions, his or her, I don't know what gender you are, but this person talks about their passions with such, like, in such a smart way, and but then you talked about your about this conflict you had with that person, your mother, sibling, friend, or someone like that, and I think this person felt like it was kind of obvious what was going on, and they didn't understand why you couldn't see how obvious, like you couldn't see the obvious. Like there was something where, like, I think you kind of described this scenario that you had, like some kind of scenario with your mother, and I think this person just thought, it's so obvious that your mother is just jealous. And that's the whole reason why she's trying to sabotage what you're doing. It's just jealousy. And like, I think this person just thought, well, that's just obvious. And I think you were kind of going through some theories about how you were sure that it was because of this and that and this and that, and you got, like, you were searching around the pot, and not really getting in there, like in the core of the problem was, and I think this person just felt like it was obviously just jealousy, or something like that, where if it wasn't completely that kind of thing, of course that's very specific for a few of you, so if it's not that thing, I think it was something you described where this person just felt like the problem was so obvious, and there was an obvious explanation, And you were coming up with all these explanations that were totally too, like you were overthinking it. Like you needed like the Occam's razor. Like you needed to just see like that you were over analyzing instead of just going with your intuition, or going with your first, like the first thought, or the most simple reasons. Like that there was a simple explanation, but you were making it extremely complicated. And I think this person just felt like you were overcomplicating a very simple conflict between two people, where the other part obviously was jealous of you and obviously were trying to sabotage because of jealousy, and you were making it about something like really far out there, like that it was about their, like, yeah, I don't know, like it seemed like this person just felt like someone who's so smart like you, that it was weird that you had all these other theories that were so far out, like, and maybe you were the one who was right. I'm not saying that this person was right, but I think they thought it was like an easy conflict to solve. Like it was so easy to see the core problem, but maybe they were simplifying it. Maybe they didn't see all the layers that you saw, because you were of course involved in it. So there might have been that sort of thing, but yeah, I think that's. I'm gonna shuffle some cards about what this person thought of you, like when they first met you, their first impression of you. Okay, with the High Priestess, I think this person saw you as very intelligent, very well read, and very wise. Someone with a lot of information, and someone with a lot of, like, someone who could talk about everything. Like they got this feeling that whatever topic they would talk about with you, you would know about it. Like if they mentioned some philosopher that not a lot of people know about, you would have been able to quote this philosopher, even very, very close to the correct, like the original quote. Even though the original quote might have been a mistranslation, and you might have also known that it was a mistranslation. So you seemed like someone who's very you're very in on everything. Like you know everything, and like I think this person felt like you knew a lot, and maybe this person also felt like maybe you had like photographic memory or something, because it seemed like you knew things in very great detail also. And this person was very, like, I think this person was very, very fascinated by you in the beginning, and felt like you were really smart, and but then again, certain things made you a bit stupid. Like some things we were not stupid, but there were certain things, especially your personal life, that you were a bit stupid when it came to those things. Like this really smart person who can quote any philosopher in the world was completely blind to something in your personal life. I think that was it. I think, and I think the reason why you're blind to it is because you're in it. Like, it's fresh. It's more like it's a wound that you have. And of course, anyone looking objectively at a wound can, of course, better see, like, if it's like if you have a wound on your back that hurts, you might not really know what it looks like. You can feel it, but you don't know what it looks like because it's on your back and you can't see it. Someone coming and taking a look at your back will, of course, see it really clearly and see, oh yeah, that's a wound, all right. That's a big wound, and that's 20 stitches right there. And they would know, but because they can see it, but you can't see it because it's on your back. And I think, of course, you could get a mirror, but again, you don't always have a mirror on you. And it's, I think this person also realized that. I think they realized that maybe the whole sorrow of the whole situation was kind of clouding your judgment, and that you were too indoctrinated into it, for you to understand it from an outsider point of view. I think there also might have been something where you talked about something from your childhood that you might have even glorified a bit, like talked about it as something very positive, and this person just felt like, what? That's not good. That doesn't sound good at all. And maybe felt like, well, you can't see it, that it was toxic because you were in it, and it's hard to kind of reach objectivity when, like, being able to observe something with clear eyes when you're so colored by what has happened. Like, it's hard. And I think they knew that, but I think it also caught them off guard that you couldn't see what was wrong with it. Yeah. Or you might have, like, explained something, and you might have said, oh, it was nothing. Like, you might have told this person about something that happened to you, and you might have, like, said, it was nothing. Like, it wasn't anything that bad. Like, my father just beat me up, and that was not, like, he just did it one time, so it wasn't really a big deal. Like, yeah, okay, I was hospitalized because of it, yeah, but it was only that one time, and he was kind of like, he was on some medication that made him a bit strange, and he was maybe, like, he had low blood sugar or high blood sugar, or like he was like his blood pressure was off the roof at that time, and like there was a solid explanation for it. Like, that was that it never happened again, so it was a one-time thing, like something like that. And you might have said it in that way, and this person was like, what? No, that's not how we do it, and like that ain't right. And I think this person just felt like, so you're such a smart person, you should know, like, you should realize that this was not okay. And I think that was kind of the thing, that this person was just a bit baffled by why you couldn't see that it was not okay, what you were explaining, what you were telling, like what the story you were telling. That was not how things should have, like, should have been, like. And I think I think that was kind of one of the things that, like, really clouded, like that really colored this person's view on you, because this person was like, well, that's like, one thing is like, I think this person kind of was a bit like, I think this person was very fascinated by you in the beginning. Like they could definitely see themselves dating you, I think. But I think like when you talked about your past, so nonchalant, like it was nothing, with such blindness, I think they kind of felt like it was a bit too much to handle, because one thing is dating someone with issues. That's kind of, that's difficult. But dating someone with issues who's not being honest about her issues, or about their issues, like not being honest, but not seeing that, not wanting to acknowledge the issues. That's maybe a bigger challenge. I think this person felt like that was a bit too much of a challenge to make. Like, one thing is like, if someone has issues, then you come in and you help them solve those issues, and that, but like having to first kind of make you understand that you actually that these are issues, actual issues. That's like another bump in the road, that maybe like it's too many steps. Like the other thing is just one step. Like, then okay, issues, fix them. Now first make sure that this person knows that there are issues, and that the issues are much worse than they remember them to be. Then kind of having to deal with this person realizing that the issues actually were real issues, and kind of have to deal with that whole realization, maybe being a bit hard. Also finding out that, oh, your whole life has been a lie, blah 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 blah. Then kind of, I know it sounds kind of insensitive, but I think that's kind of what this person was thinking. Like, and the thing is, like, I think you already know that these issues are actual issues, but I think you downplay them when you talk to people, because maybe you don't want people to feel bad, or you kind of want to lighten the mood and make kind of a joke about it, instead of kind of saying like, oh yeah, this was traumatic, and like that kind of kills the vibe. And I think that's more the thing with you, and maybe this person also realized that afterwards, but we'll see. But I think I'm gonna ask now, like, what's your crush's impression of you now? How do they see you now? How does your crush see you now? How does group number 4's crush see group number 4 now? Okay. Definitely. With the two of wands being upright, I think this person sees you as someone who is. I think they realize that the nerve that they kind of pushed in the first time they met you, that maybe this is something you explained to this person, or I think they realize now that the reason why you were downplaying what had happened to you in the past is because you don't like to talk about the past. You like to see, you like to look ahead. Like you want, the past is the past. You want to just move forward without constantly talking about the past. And I think this person has realized that now, that maybe that you were brushing it off because you just didn't want to talk about it, and you wanted to talk about something else, and so you kind of made it quick and said like it wasn't a big deal, blah 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 blah, and so they realize that now. And I think with the Fool here reversed, I think they realize that you're not as stupid as they thought you were. Like when it came to personal stuff, like they thought you were a bit stupid when talking about your personal life. They saw you, like in the beginning, they saw you as very, very smart and intelligent, but a bit naive when it came to your family and personal stuff. Like you gave people the benefit of the doubt. You kind of that you thought you saw the good in the people who had wronged you instead of seeing how bad they actually were. And I think they realize that afterwards, that you're not that stupid, that you see them in the right way, but you just don't want to talk about it. Like there's no point in talking about it, like talking all like that it doesn't lead to anywhere, and it doesn't make the situation even any better. And I think they realize that, and I think they felt a bit stupid for assuming that you didn't understand what was going on, that it kind of made them feel a bit stupid, that they jumped to the conclusion that you didn't know, that you didn't understand, when it was more that you didn't want to talk about it. With a Page of Wands reversed, I think this person feels like you're, like right now, I think their impression of you is that you're a bit closed off. You're someone who doesn't talk a lot. You don't like to scream from the top of the mountain and make everybody know. Like you don't like to have these huge like you don't like to scream from like the top of the mountain. You don't like to share too much about what's going on, what has happened in the future. You like to keep things a bit for yourself, and it's, I think this person is kind of okay with it now. Like they know, okay, yeah, that's who this person is. This person doesn't like to. I think also this person. I think this person, your crush. I think they have realized that you're also the type of person who doesn't like to get angry, like, and you don't like to get upset, and you don't like. So you kind of ignore everything that makes you angry and that makes you upset. So you don't want to talk about them, and I think. I think this person is kind of the opposite. I think this person really likes to talk about what makes them angry, and they like to get angry, and they like to kind of like they like to speak their mind, and I think they just know that that's not who you are now, and like they know that now, that that's not who you are. And with the Three of Pentacles, I think this person sees you as someone who's actually a lot of fun when you're not talking about your past. Like you're actually very fun to be around, and you're someone who likes to have a good time, and you like to have a good time without having anyone kind of ruin your good time. And I think they find that kind of problematic, I think, actually, because I think this person is maybe the type of person who somehow kind of enjoys talking. They enjoy talking about things, and they see that as a type of fun, I think. And I think they like to go to parties, but I think they don't like to be on the dance floor. They like to be in a group, like sitting around a table, talking about life, also talking about just shitty things in life, talking about problems, talking about also things that are positive, but also like maybe, I think this person enjoys talking about problems and finds some kind of entertainment in it. And I think they see that, well, you're more like someone who likes to entertain, and you like to say a joke, and you like to go out on the dance floor, and you like to be very like, you like to joke around, you like to have like this light vibration. And I think they it's just like they they see you kind of being like every time someone you can see how like these cats here in the background, they are all like really serious and like talking. They are obviously talking about some shit that's very serious, like serious stuff, like discussing some serious stuff. Like this person has just been talking about his abusive mother, and this person has just been sharing about his father being sexual towards him when he was 4 years old, and then this guy over here, like in the background, he's just been telling people how he was misdiagnosed as an autistic person, or like having autism when he was 11, but found out afterwards that it was a misdiagnosis, and his whole life was ruined by this misdiagnosis, and like everybody's being really serious, and maybe you're like here being like, I don't want to talk about these serious things, like can we just have fun? And so you might they might see you as this person who, like, every time things get a bit too serious, you are the one like doing something silly or something to kind of lighten the mood, like say a joke or something to just, okay, now we need a joke right now. This is getting too heavy or something. And I think this person sees that, and like I think this person feels like it's not that this person doesn't like you being this way, but I think this person feels like you're not really in touch with your feelings, or that you're not really in touch with like that you get really uncomfortable with heavy things really quickly, and that this person would wish that you would be more like that you wouldn't get so uncomfortable with these kinds of topics. And with the Seven of Pentacles, this card also, like the imagery on this card is also very fitting. Like I think this person sees you as someone who's burying things inside you, like burying it deep down, and you're not talking about it because you just want these things to be buried. And in this person's perspective, these things that you have inside that you're burying are actually pentacles. Like they are worth something. And not only for them, like to them, not only to them are these pentacles very valuable, but this person also feels like these pentacles are valuable for other people as well, and that you're sitting on a gold mine and you're burying it down. That there is actually value in grief, and there is value in trauma, and that not only would this person fall in love with you instantly if you were more keen on sharing your story. This is something this person is very, very attracted to, and if you're not doing it, this person is not attracted to you. But this person also feels like you could, like, you obviously have a lot, you have a very interesting story to tell, and by not telling it, you could be like saying goodbye to a big opportunity to actually maybe monetize it by talking to, like, by making it a business. And this is something that's a bit strange, but like, I think this person feels like, well, you could write your story down and sell it as a book. And if you're not writing it down, if you're just sitting on it, then it's not becoming a book. You're not making it a book. You should be making it a book. So yeah. And the first step to doing that is by starting to actually be comfortable sharing it. And for instance, you could be like, this person would really much like to be the one you would, like, he could be the puppet, like he or she could be the puppet you could kind of practice on, like this person wants you to practice on them. Try to share your story with them, and then get comfortable with it, because it's a story that might actually get you some success in the future. And that is kind of what this person is like. I'm getting this kind of vibe from this person. So yeah, but that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below on how to get one. And yeah, have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this Miss Cleo's tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 5. Group number 5. So group number 5, Spirit, can you tell me the answer to this question for group number 5? What was their crush's first impression of them, of group number 5? Sorry, my eyes are a bit watery, but yeah. I'm sensing a bit of a sensitive vibe here, because I am tearing up a bit. So I kind of get that this person is a bit sentimental type. I don't think this person saw you as sentimental in the beginning. I think this person might have been sensitive in the beginning. So I'm getting this feeling that he was maybe acting a bit sensitive when you first met them. And it's like this person, like, we are asking about this person's first impression of you, but I'm kind of getting that this person's first impression of you, like the things that this person was focusing on was themselves, like what, and it's not because this person is very self-centered. It's just that this person is very, very anxious, and so this person like was constantly, when they met you, I feel like this person was like outside their own body, like looking at themselves, fucking everything up, like looking at, like observing themselves being a fool, and kind of just by like slapping themselves like in the face, like while just like thinking like, oh, I'm such an idiot, like what is wrong with me? And so I think like the first impression of you was just themselves, like their first like what like they didn't really they weren't even I don't think they thought a lot like about your like what impression you were making on them. Like that was not something they were thinking about at all. Like they were just thinking about the impression that they were like leaving you with. Like, oh God, this person must have thought like this. That, I think this person, like afterwards, they just thought like you thought they were so idiotic. And I think like that was like, so they didn't really, like, you didn't leave an impression, like a first impression, like, and I think that's also because they knew about you. I think they knew you were great. They had heard something about you before they met you. I think they had heard like your name being like, people had been talking about you or something, and like they knew very well who you were when they met you the first time, and so they knew that there were things on the stake here. Like there were things here that put a lot of pressure on this. Like I think this person was very pressured, like felt very, very stressed out, because they knew like everybody else had been talking about you and had been telling them that you're a great person. And I think it's very positive. Like I think this person had heard a lot of positive things about you before they met you, and it just left them with this feeling like, oh, they really had to make a good first impression on you. And they didn't, or they didn't feel like they did. Like they felt like they said all the wrong things, and I think they were kind of sensitive about it. Like they kind of wanted to cry about it a little bit afterwards. Like they didn't though. Like I don't think they did. Like they felt a bit like they were tired of themselves, like tired of being this anxious idiot, thinking all of these great things in their mind. Like I think they have this person has this like they have a routine where they think about everything before they say them. Like they have this whole script in their mind of what they are gonna say next, and then when they have the opportunity to say whatever they scripted in their mind, it comes out like yeah, and it's like it's never what they planned. Like they never say what they planned to say. Like it's never ever going after their plan, like in their mind. Like it and they don't know why, and it's a constant struggle for this person. It's something they've struggled with their whole life. I think I think they always have had this problem, but it is really intensified when they meet someone they like and who they really want to impress and who they really want to have like them back. And that is that's a recipe for disaster for this person. Like this person can talk to other people if they feel like, oh, it's not someone they have to impress. Like then they can sort of say things that make sense, but they can't when they feel like there's too much at stake. Yeah. And I think this person was a bit fragile, a bit sensitive about it, and felt like you would never, ever, ever talk to them again. That was kind of, yeah, they knew that was it, man. Like, they blew it, and they will never get a second chance. And if they got one, they were very certain that they would blow it again. Like, that wouldn't be, yeah. Oh. With the Justice card, yeah, I think this person, I think like it kind of might stem from issues from the past, like. I think this person has always been very self-conscious, always assumed that nobody liked them, and always assumed that everybody would hate them, and I think it might stem from like their childhood, their school years being awful, always feeling like they didn't fit in, always feeling like nobody wanted to be their friend, and if they wanted to be their friend, there was something, always something going on. There was always a hidden agenda. It never was really genuine, and I think this person, like if someone likes them, they get freaked out. They think there's something going on. They think that it must be there must be an ulterior motive to it. Like there must be something. It's not like it can't be right, and it makes this person like maybe this person also like felt like you might have liked them in the very beginning when they first met you. They might have felt like, well, this person kind of seems to like me. Also, why? And kind of, I think that also made their brain like spiral and made them think, oh well, there must be something else. There must be an ulterior motive. There must be something going on. I don't know what it is. And I think that also freaked them out, thinking that maybe it was like it might have given them associations to like their childhood, where some idiot kids kind of like there might have been a very very bad kid in this person's school when this person was a kid. Also like that where a kid kind of pretended to like them, and they thought it was real, and then everybody would laugh at them because it wasn't real, and it was just a bet or something, or it was just something they did to kind of get a laugh out of it or something like that. There was something, and I think this person kind of just freaked out in the moment and thought like, well, what if this is kind of like that thing, even though this person knows it wasn't. Like this person is an adult now, and this person knows that this sort of thing is not going on anymore. But it's just like this person just felt like, oh, this is. What if there's something else that, and maybe what if I'm gonna just look like a fool, or I don't know. Yeah, it might stem from them having some weight issues as a child. And some of the other children not being very understanding of it and just making fun of it. It might stem from them not feeling like they were attractive, and maybe they feel like they still aren't attractive enough, and if someone comes and wants to talk to them who's actually attractive, they kind of freak out because they think like, well, if an attractive person is talking to me and I'm not attractive and I don't like, then there must be something else going on. Like it's, and I think that might have been one of the things that made this person freak out. But yeah, I think, but what was this person's first impression of you? What was your crush's first impression of you? Group number 5. Group number 5's first impression, crush's first impression of group number 5. Group number 5's crush's first impression of group number 5. Okay, so with the 4 of Wands, 4 of Staffs, I think this person's first impression of you was that you've made this person feel like home. Maybe not in a good way, because this person didn't like home. Like this person got a nostalgic vibe from you. Like this, they felt like you. You might have also reminded them of someone in their past, and in a good way though, but it still made them remember their past. And I think there are a lot of very complicated emotions tied around this person's past. I think everything that makes them feel like home, like they're, makes them remember all the bad stuff. And especially if someone is caring, it kind of like if someone, I think if you were very understanding of this person, like when you first met them, you might have said that that you know what it's like to have anxiety or something, that you know what they are going through and that it's not something to be ashamed of or something. If you said that, I think it made them feel good, it made them feel warm, but it also might have made them like, it might have like made them think of their mother, which might not be a good thing, because that might be like a bit of a turn off, because but I think their mother was maybe quite supportive of them, very good at saying like, oh, you shouldn't beat yourself up about everything or something, and I think that it kind of just, it was a weird thing where it was warm and cozy and nice, but on the other hand, kind of reminded them of their mother. And I also think it just made them think of like their childhood home, all the bad stuff, all the darkness, and all the. And then it just went from being like very warm and fuzzy to just reminding them of like something really uncomfortable and bad and not nice. And even though you were being extremely nice, and it was the extremely nice part that made this person uncomfortable, because they are so used to people just being really mean to them. And sometimes we get so used to something that it kind of seems comfortable to be put down. Like it seems like the most safe thing. Like it's like, oh yeah, I know what's going to happen now, and that it's this thing, and like that is something I'm used to. But having someone be actually very nice and understanding and tolerant and patient, that was just not something they expected, and it kind of felt uncomfortable and made them feel like you were pitying them, even though you weren't, and they also knew you weren't, but it kind of felt like pity. and they didn't really enjoy it very, very much. Like, yeah. I also, like, there might have been something about this person having a stutter, like problem with like stuttering, and they are used to people just being like, oh, get to the point, man. Don't like, and maybe you were just being patient and saying like, oh, take your time. I'm gonna like, I'm not going anywhere. I can wait. Like, what's the rush? Like, and even though this person was happy about that reaction, it's just not a reaction they are used to, and so it kind of felt somehow I feel like this person felt like it wasn't genuine, that it was something you just said because you wanted to be nice. But I think it was genuine. I think you were being genuine towards this person, but I think it's just, again, like, they didn't feel like it could be true, like, because nothing good ever happens to this person, and they always assume that behind goodness is always like, there's always something waiting, like something bad waiting, like, there's always a but, like, there's always something like, you're nice but, like, yeah. And I think they just expect that. Like, they don't expect people to really like them for who they are. With the 6 of coins, I think this person felt like you were being like generous with them, with your time. Like, you were generous enough to actually spend time with them. Like, it was more like they felt like it was like they felt a bit like charity, like a charity case, and you were kind of helping them and being supportive, and it just made them feel like they were this poor being who just needed help and support from someone stronger than them. And I felt like I think this person felt like they want to be the strong one, I think. And when people are being strong for them, it kind of makes them feel very small. And I think they want to be on top of things, but they rarely succeed at it. But they kind of wanted to when it came to you, because they wanted to be like, because I think they saw you as a romantic option. I think they saw you as a love option. I think that was the whole thing. I don't know if this was some kind of blind date or something, but I feel like they had love in mind when they met you. They had their mind on like a relationship thing with you, and they felt like they can't be in a relationship with someone where you're the rock, because they want to be the rock. They want to be the one supporting someone else, being care for someone else. That they don't want someone to care for them. And I think that's and with the 9 of Pentacles, I think they saw you as someone who was independent, someone where like you did well on your own. You were on top of things. You were great and bold and daring and awesome, and you just took charge and was like, and like, I think this was like they just like, it's, I don't think this person is like the type of person who doesn't want someone who's independent. I think it's not like that. I think it's just that they saw you as so independent and they didn't know what to provide. Like they didn't see how they had a place in your life. And I think they also saw that YouTube video. It was really, it was, it was really popular a few years ago. I don't remember when, but it's like a video of like some kind of, it's been seen like so like a billion times or something on YouTube. So it's like really, many people have seen it. So maybe not a billion times, but yeah, you get it. But it's like a video of some kind of, I don't know if it was a TED talk or but it was a psychologist or someone who was saying that like the way to make a woman fall in love with you is to find something that she needs and then provide that thing she needs, and then she will need you. Like then you have her in the palm of your hand because you provide something she needs. This is horrible. It is not ideal, but a lot of people have seen this, and it kind of also makes sense when you think about like many men's actions. People seem to kind of go with this philosophy because it's like a quick fix. Like it's like a life hack that's just like, but it's just like you can't hack yourself into love. Like it's not good to capture a woman in that way. Like find something that she can't live without and then provide it, and then make sure that nobody else can provide it so that you're the only one providing it, and then she is just addicted to you because you're the only one who can give her that. Like that is not good. It's not really good, but it's sometimes desperate people kind of go to that, like go to some desperate measures. And I think this person is not someone who's very good with love. Like they are not very good at finding someone who actually likes them, mostly because of their low self-esteem. Like they don't feel like they deserve anyone, and they kind of don't have any confidence at all. And so it's kind of that's a problem. But they kind of assume that it's because they are ugly, or because they are not pretty enough, or they are not smart enough, or they don't have a good enough job or something. And they kind of assume that that's a thing and that's a problem. And then they find a way to fix it by finding a way to kind of get love without being the smartest person in the room, without being the most handsome person in the room, but just by providing with someone with something that they desperately need. And they couldn't find that with you. And I think that's the whole problem. Like they kind of searched for it when they met you the first time. They searched for like something. They might have even asked you like, what do you really want? Like, is there something you really, really want? And I think they did it because they had, like, that was their agenda, to find that one thing you really, really want and then provide it so that you would fall in love with them. But they couldn't find it because you had everything and you didn't seem to need anything. And I think that was a kind of a problem. But I'm gonna shuffle the cards now and find out like what this person's impression of you is now. What's this person's impression of you now? What is this person's impression of you now? How do they see you now? How does your crush see you now? How does group number 5's crush see them now? Oh, okay, so kind of went a bit dark, but not really. With the 10 of Swords, it's a dark card when it's upright, but when it's reversed, it's kind of it kind of loses its blow. Like it's not really it's not that bad when it's reversed. It's more like it in this context. I kind of want to see it as a bit like the upright version, but just in a more in a much less dramatic sense, like not as terrible, but still kind of hopeless, because the 10 of Swords, when it's upright, it's a horrible card, but it's kind of hopeful. So it's kind of like everything is horrible, but there's hope at the end, like there's light at the end of the tunnel anyways. But when it's reversed, I feel like maybe this person doesn't really see that light at the end of the tunnel. Like they are kind of just hopeless, like they don't have any hope for this. They don't think it's gonna work out. They don't think you like them. They are quite certain you don't. And with the 4 of Swords reversed, I think this person has kind of given up on it. When it's upright, it's someone who's lying down and like resting before a battle, like and like getting his strength back so that he can be 100% ready for what's gonna happen. And like someone who's gonna go out on the battlefield and fight for what he wants and what he believes in. But when it's reversed, it's more like he's resting, but not with something in mind. Like he's just laid himself flat on the ground. Not because he's like getting his strength back to ask you out or anything. Like it's more like that ship has sailed, and so he's just flat down on the ground, like just this is not gonna happen. Might as well just hand in the towel now and not make a big fool out of myself, because it's not worth it. And maybe get out of this like with some of his dignity, his or her dignity, like some, and like intact, like get like I think they feel like they might have made a fool out of themselves, and they just want, I think it kind of is some, like it's like they just want to forget about it, I think. Like you remind them of themselves being a fail, like how they failed. And so like if you came back, I think they would actually be like they would be happy, but I think they would also be hesitant, because it's like they just want to close that, like every time they fail at something, they just want to close the chapter, burn the bridge, and then move on. And that's how they've done everything up until this day. And they are not planning on stopping doing that, because it's something that's so much like inside them, something that is so permanent. They can't get rid of this. They have to just, like, if things get uncomfortable, they escape from it. They run away and they run as fast as they can, and they run as far away as possible, because that's the way they cope. That's how they live their life. That's how they get comfortable with their life, is just to run, never look back, and just forget about their failures and get rid of everything that reminds them of the past, of their failures, of everything. Like, they just want to move away and act as if it never happened. And I think that is kind of the feeling I'm getting from this person, that they kind of just want to forget about you. Because it seemed like they had a crush on you like a million times, like really, really big crush on you. And so I don't know why, like, but they felt like they blew it. And I don't know why, because you obviously have a crush on them, so why would they think they blew it? I don't know, but it might just be their own insecurities, but they felt like you rejected them, or that you made it very clear that you weren't interested or something, which I don't think you did, but it might just be their own their own imagination running wild or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 6. You chose the Alcohol Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling. I'm sorry that my throat is a bit hoarse. That happens when I've done a long reading. It happens. But yeah, I'm gonna start with some channeling, and then I'm gonna shuffle the cards for you. I hope you understand what I say, but I know it can be difficult. I'm gonna try to like talk a bit loud so that you get some of it. But yeah, that's why it's gonna sound a bit like I'm screaming at you, but I'm not. It's just like I just want some sound to get out, and that's just the only way to do it. So yeah, but I'm gonna channel now. So okay. Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 6 about what their crush's first impression was of them? What was group number 6's crush's first impression of group number 6? Okay, so I'm getting something about you being very bold. Like, I think this person felt like you were very courageous, very, like, you just did things. Like, you didn't seem like the person who second-guessed yourself a lot. Like, you seemed to be also very adventurous, like, very, like, if you got an idea, you just went for it. Like, let's do it. Like, instead of, and if someone else, like, I feel like you met this person in kind of a group setting, or where other people were around you, and I think like someone got an idea to do something, and everybody was like, well, what if it goes sideways? Or I don't know. And I think you just said, whatever, let's do it. Like, it's not a big deal. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. It's not that, like, it's not that serious. Like, let's just seize the day and do something, and like, and not have all these stupid fears. Like, things are gonna work out. So I think this person saw that. Like, I think they saw how you were like the only one who was actually game. Like, you were game on trying something. Like, you just like, you didn't think twice. Like, you just seemed like courageous. And maybe you're that type of person who gets really courageous if you're around people who are very hesitant. Like, if you're around a lot of naysayers, you kind of might have like the tendency to be the yay-sayer, like the one saying, well, let's do it, like, because you might get like a bit of a rush from actually being the only one who dares to do something. Like, maybe you're not very courageous like all the time, like maybe especially when you're alone you might not be that courageous at all, but when you're around people who are not courageous at all, who are all very hesitant and very anxious, you might get like this rush to just be the one thing, like, let's do it, like, and I think this person saw that, and I think they saw it as like a superpower, like you were amazing for just daring to be different, daring to do things differently, not going against the group, and being the one saying like, what's the worst thing that can happen, like, yeah. And I think like with the 9 of Wands, which is 9 of Cups, I think this person saw you as someone who's like you have a lot of experiences. Like, not everybody has that. Like, you have like your whole, like you have like a wall of trophies, like a lot of, and not necessarily achievements, or I think you have a lot of achievements, but I don't think that was the thing that this person was thinking of like when they first met you. But I think, well, for some of you it might have been that, like they saw you as someone who had achieved a lot in your life, and it was very impressive. But I think they also, like, also for many of you, your crush, he or she felt like you had so many experiences, like you could talk about like so many things that had happened to you or that you had done in your life. Like, you could tell them about like trips to like foreign countries, being an au pair in a completely different country, or working as a travel agent or in a different country, or working as a like a lot of adventures, like bungee jumping in New Zealand, and like river rafting in like Switzerland or something. I don't know, but I don't know if you can river raft in Switzerland. I don't know if it's a big thing, but you can. I think you can, but I don't know if it's a big thing, like specifically for Switzerland. But I don't know. But I think this person just felt like you could talk a lot about like different cultures. You knew a lot about, and like me not knowing if river rafting is a big thing in Switzerland, you might have said something about something being a big thing in some country, and they just felt like they didn't know that. And I think they felt like, well, you knew a lot about the world that they didn't know, like had a lot of information, a lot of experiences that they had never heard of. And I think that just like this person felt like, wow, you have a lot to talk about. Like, you have, like, I think this person felt like it was a bit unfair in a way, because I think this person is maybe the type of person who's always like very awkward when he or she when they have to introduce themselves to others. They never really know what to say, because they haven't experienced a lot of things. It's just like they don't know, and so they just say like, oh, they just introduce themselves by saying like, yeah, my name is blah blah blah, and I do this, and I have no hobbies, but maybe I like to draw sometimes, or like something like that, and it's always very hard for this person to have anything to say about themselves. Like, they don't know what to say. They don't know they don't have anything that makes them very interesting. And I think they felt like you could just go on and on about things that made you interesting, and they kind of felt like that was like, it's a bit unfair, like, because they always have this issue. Like, they've always hated, like, when when you have to go, like, take turns, like when you're in a group and you sit like in a circle and you have to take turns in like standing up and telling people who you are and what you've done and all of that. And they hate it, like, because they never know what to say, because they don't really feel like they are a very interesting person. And I think they just felt like you were very comfortable with that, even though you might not have been, but you had more things to say. Like, it came more naturally to you to just talk about all your experiences, where you have worked in, and you have worked in exotic countries, and you have done all these crazy things and been on all these adventures, and you can talk about that, and that makes you instantly interesting to people, and people are like, wow, that's so interesting, well, I want to hear more about it. And I think that you might also come from a foreign country, which just makes you like gain 100 extra points, like extra bonus points, because like people, like, because then you can tell people, oh, I'm from Hawaii, or I'm from like Cambodia, and like that's really interesting, and people are like, oh wow, what's it like there? Like, what's that like? And it's just different. It's just I think this person felt like you just had an advantage, because you're just naturally interesting. Like you were born interesting. Like, even before you could walk, you were more interesting than them. Like, that's a bit unfair. And I think that was kind of like, they felt that the first time they met you. They thought you were very interesting, but they also felt like, well, why? Why? Why is that not me? Like, why can't I have just one thing that makes me interesting, like her or him? I don't know your gender, but like that was, I think, like this is the type. I think this is like a really typical vanilla kind of person, like. And I think like they are right. I think they have absolutely nothing interesting to say about themselves, because I don't think they have ever done anything very interesting. And like that is kind of on them, but of course also kind of like sometimes we're just unlucky, I guess. Like, not sometimes we're I think this person really genuinely doesn't have a lot to say about themselves. That's really interesting. So yeah, they, like, I think this person has like, I think at a time they really thought about getting a tattoo, because they hoped that would make them more interesting, but they didn't, because their mom didn't want them to, or something like that. I think it. Yeah, that's specific for some of you. I know it can't be for all of you, but that was just something that came through. That not even that, like they wanted to, couldn't, because of their mom, and that's also cute. Like, I think this person is a really cute person. I don't think they are really happy that they didn't get that tattoo though, because it was really stupid. And it really was just to make themselves feel more interesting to others, and so it wasn't really a genuine, like something they genuinely wanted to do because it made them happy. It was something they wanted to mark themselves in order to make themselves more attractive to people, because it felt like they needed some kind of conversation piece, because they don't really have a lot to talk about. And yeah. So, okay, this is so mean. Oh, I'm being really mean right now. But this is the Alcohol Tarot. And I think this person is a bit silly. But I think this person has wished that they had an alcohol problem, because at least then they would be interesting. Like, then they would be able to say to people, oh, I'm an alcoholic. And then, like, they would feel like they actually had something to say. Like, and it's a bit silly. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some cards about what this person's impression of you is now. What is group number 6's crush's first or current impression of group number 6? It's still, like, it's really good. So with the Chariot, like, they see you as like this person where like the light is shining only on you. And so there's also something here about, I think this person sees you and only you. Like, they only notice you, like when they walk into a bar and you are there, they only see you. Like, they notice you right away. Like you're it for the, like, I think this person actually, like when this person got past their own insecurities about their own vanilla-ness, they kind of, like when they, like, I think they kind of got around and kind of realized that maybe also one of the reasons why they found you so interesting was because they were actually interested in you. Like, it wasn't necessarily just that it was so unfair for you to, like, maybe they also realized that maybe they found you more interesting than everybody else. Like, not that that's true though, but I think they kind of had a realization at some point that one of the things they were so angry about, like they felt like it was so unfair that you were so interesting to everyone. They might have realized that that was all in their head, that when they talked about you with other people, everybody thought, like, I don't think anybody had negative things to say, but I think they realized that this infatuation that they had with you was maybe a bit special to them, like, and that they had thought everybody else saw you as this amazing, fascinating, interesting person, and a lot of them did, but not in the same way as they did. And I think this realization made them think, well, maybe there is a reason why I find this person so very interesting and just wants to know everything about this person, because everything about this person is just so interesting to me. And that, I think they realized that it was maybe a bit special. And they might also realize that you felt the same way. Which I think this person, like, that caught this person off guard. Like, they had never thought that would be, like, they are the most vanilla person on the planet. And to have someone actually be interested in all their vanilla stuff was just like out of this world, like an out of this world experience, out of body experience. Like, what is happening? Like, what's so interesting about going on a family vacation when I was 13 and going on the most normal family vacation to a cabin in the woods like everybody else did. Like, and you might have shown so much interest in that story that this person felt like, what? So interesting. It's just a story about a cabin in the woods. And it didn't even, like, there wasn't even anything spooky going on. Like, it was just a normal vacation. Like, nothing interesting. And I think that was when they realized that maybe they weren't the only one feeling this strange interest in you, that you also felt this strange interest in them, and that maybe this was something special after all. And so, I think this person has a good, like, thinks very highly of you now and sees you as like the only person in the room. You're like this one person who's just lightened up and everybody else is black and white, but you're the only one in color. And I think that is so amazing. Like, it's very cute, actually. Like, I find it really, really cute. Yeah. Cute story, cute love story. Like, that's one for the kids to hear. Like, that's cute. I like it. That's all I have for you. Group number 6. I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye.